Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Heroes Like You podcast, where we explore the lives of extraordinary people and discover that they are very much like you and I. I am Joe Belliston, and today we have the honor of hearing from Aaron Wheelz Fotheringham. Aaron is a stuntman with a group called Nitro Circus. If you haven't heard of them, just think of the X Games on steroids. They are a group of guys and girls who do stunts on really anything with wheels, from scooters to big wheels to BMX bikes. And Aaron does all of these same stunts, but in a wheelchair. He was born with spina bifida and has been in a wheelchair most of his life. But what's neat about Aaron is that he is so positive, and you would never know by talking to him that he has any physical limitations at all. Aaron is so fun to be around, he has a great sense of humor, and even after over 20 surgeries, he's still just as positive as ever and has a really, really good energy. I hope you enjoy my conversation with Aaron Wheelz Fotheringham. Aaron Wheelz Fotheringham, I'm so stoked to have you on the show today. Thanks for taking time to be with us.
Oh, man, pumped to be here. Thanks for having me, man.
Well, it's my pleasure. And I was first introduced to you when I was doing some work on the Nitro Circus TV series when it was on MTV. And I also had the privilege of working on the Nitro Circus movie that came out in 2012, which you starred in. And you, well, first of all, for those who haven't seen the show, Nitro Circus is a bunch of people who do stunts on motorcycles and BMX bikes and scooters and school buses and really anything that has wheels. And you became a favorite of mine and a fan favorite by doing all those same stunts in a wheelchair. Talk about Nitro Circus, what your involvement is with that and how you got started.
Oh, well, I appreciate it, man. I mean, I was just kind of riding skate parks and doing my thing. And then, I'd been doing that for a little while. And then when I was 18, I got an email from Dove Ribnick, one of the producers of Nitro Circus, and he said that they had this big ramp that they were setting up, and they were, having rehearsals on it for this live tour that they were wanting to do. And they said that they heard that I was wanting to ride a mega ramp and that I got turned down, but since it's Nitro Circus, they won't turn me down, so I should come on out for the practice. And that was one of the most awesome emails I ever got. I immediately went in and I woke my parents up and was like, dude, do you know what Nitro Circus is? And kind of that's how it all started. And then I went out to practice, and when I actually saw the ramp in person, that was a different story.
So what's a mega ramp? Paint that picture for us.
Well, think of like the biggest skateboarding ramp you could think of. It was this one. So I get out to practice and we pull up, and I look out the window because you have to stick your head out the car window to see the top of it. It's a 50-foot tall ramp built out of scaffolding. So you go up 60 stairs to the top of this 50-foot ramp, and then you have, they can adjust the size of the gap. So it was from like 35 feet was like the minimum, and then the max was like 50 feet of a gap. And so
you're jumping the gap. So you go up over the ramp, and there's a big crevice essentially, and then you land on the other side.
Yeah. And thankfully for the first time I hit this ramp, it was into a foam pit. So that's good. But the worry was you still have to make it into the foam over that, 30-foot gap.
Yeah.
So that was pretty scary.
How fast do you have to be going to make that?
I mean, just fast enough, I guess. I don't know how fast we're actually going, but I think you're going somewhere around like 30s or so.
Wow. So what was your thought when you first got up there? Did you like, I'm done, I got to go back, or were you stoked about it?
I mean, I was pretty terrified, but at the same time, like, this was what I'd wanted to do like my whole life, like growing up riding skate parks. It was like, that was like my dream, was to be able to ride a mega ramp. And so, the opportunity was there, and I was with Nitro Circus, and I'd been a huge fan of the show for the longest time. And so I felt like, there was no backing down. Like, this had to happen. If I died or if I survived, either way, all in pursuit of this dream I had. And then you're with Nitro Circus, so you can't back down.
Yeah, that's true. You can't be the only scaredy cat out there.
Yeah.
So what happened? Did you land it?
So I get up there, and I'm up there with Andy Bell, and I think Eric Roner was up there with us, and it was I felt sick, but I finally just kind of pushed myself over the edge, just kind of pushed my wheelchair over, and then on the way down, it's too late to change your mind, so you got to just kind of enjoy the ride. And on the way down, I'm like, I'm hauling butt right now. And I got to do something cool. I'm here with Nitro. So as I'm coming up the takeoff, I grabbed the front of my chair and I just pulled back as hard as I could, wanting to do a flip or something cool.
Yeah.
And I ended up doing a backflip and landing like wheels down into the foam.
Nice.
It was just too perfect. And from that point, everyone came running and screaming like, what, like you survived. And also like, that's the fastest anyone's ever made it into the Nitro Circus crew with one jump, and they're all congratulating me, and it was one of those life moments that I'll never forget.
That's awesome. And that's one thing I like about the show too, is when someone lands a trick, everybody goes nuts and piles on top of each other and congratulates everybody. It's pretty fun.
That's definitely the best part.
Yeah. So you aren't in a wheelchair because you crashed in an accident or something like that. You were born with spina bifida, and you've been in a wheelchair or used crutches your whole life. Tell us a little bit about spina bifida and what that is.
Yeah. So spina bifida is a birth defect. It's something to do with, I think, the development of your spine when you're born, or like your spinal cord or something. I don't know the details. I've never full-on researched it, but I know that it's something to do with your spinal cord. And so for me, like, I was born with limited use of my legs, so I can still feel my legs, but it's like from about the knees down, I have no movement. So I have some hips and I have some core control, but for me, I don't have like any movement from my knees down. And so it's kind of like being paralyzed, but with full feeling.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of trippy.
So you can't walk without support then?
Yeah, no, I either need to use crutches or, but then the crutches are pretty painful. And I used those till I was about 8 years old. And then I started using the wheelchair full time because it's just faster.
Yeah. Well, on the bright side, I'll bet your arms are pretty strong, huh?
They're all right. I'm working on it.
So you said you used crutches till you were 8. Tell us a little bit more about your childhood and what life looked like for you growing up in Las Vegas as a boy with spina bifida.
Yeah, when I was born, like my biological parents were kind of stressed out about dealing with the kid with spina bifida, and I don't think they were quite ready for it. So they put me up for adoption, and then, which is extremely fortunate because then I was adopted by some of the most loving parents ever that have been my parents my whole life, and just kind of the way they raised me was they didn't treat me any different because of my spina bifida, and they just kind of made me do things for myself, and I really can't thank them enough for the way they raised me, and kind of showed me that, spina bifida is just something I was born with, but it doesn't really stop me from doing anything,
Yeah, that's awesome, because I think there's a lot of people that would look at that situation and say, man, he was dealt a bad hand. And yet you decided to look on the positive side and say, that's just how things were supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, from the beginning, I felt super blessed. First of all, to be adopted by a loving family that, is able to take on these challenges. And I mean, I've had a lot of surgeries. So my mom was there for me through all of them, and she's just awesome. And, I just felt super fortunate that it wasn't worse, because spina bifida can always, it can get pretty intense. And so, I mean, I just kind of felt lucky that it wasn't as worse as it could be,
Yeah. Well, and you said they treated you the same, so they didn't give you any special attention or special care. They just treated you like all the other siblings?
Yeah, I would be like, Mom, can you give me a cup of water or something? And she'd be like, Your legs aren't painted on. Go get it yourself, you know? I'm like, Mom, my legs pretty much are painted on, but
So you never
whatever.
could use that to your advantage then. I'd be milking that every time I could.
Oh, I still tried, but it just wasn't very successful.
That's awesome. So you had some brothers that would go to the skate park and you'd follow them and watch them do BMX tricks and stuff. When were you watching that and decide you could do that in your wheelchair?
Well, I mean, growing up, like with my older brother who was into BMX and skating, like he did all that stuff. And like we loved watching X Games together. And then one day we just were at the skate park, and I'm at the park with him and my dad, and then I'm just watching him ride his bike, and then he came over to the gate and was like, "Hey, do you want to come in and try this or something? Like we'll get you to the top of a quarter." And and now I think about it, I'm like, was he trying to help me or was he trying to kill me? But
Had you ever considered it before that point?
I don't think I ever thought of it. I mean, it was a long time ago, so it's hard to really remember, but I don't, I really don't think it was my idea or if I ever thought of it before he had suggested it.
How old were you at the
Um,
time?
I was 8.
Oh my gosh.
So,
I've got an
so
8-year-old daughter. I can't imagine her
uh,
doing that on a bike or anything.
right? And I mean, if I have kids, I probably won't want them doing it either. But yeah, just kind of started out like that, and it was a lot of fun.
How did it go, that first ride?
Well, I mean, the first ones weren't fun, but the first couple drop-ins, like he had got me to the top of this about 3, 4 foot quarter pipe, and I didn't know the technique. I didn't know what you needed to do, so I didn't know you needed to get the front wheels up. So I just tried dropping in all 4 wheels on the ground, and that resulted in a hand plant, face plant type of thing. Um, and then did that same thing a couple times before I realized, oh, I should probably do a wheelie down this,
Yeah.
And, and then after that, I rolled away from that. Then it was on, Then
Yeah.
it was like, oh, I gotta try this ramp, try a little bit bigger. And my brother really kind of pushed me to drop in on bigger ramps.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you've had a lot of crashes over the years. Have you ever had the thought of giving up or saying, I'm not going to do this anymore?
Um, I wouldn't say like thoughts of giving up on like the whole sport. I mean, there's times where I crash and I just get really angry, but I feel like the anger is more kind of used towards kind of pursuing the trick a little further and ending up landing it. Like, I don't know. I've never really thought of just stopping because of crashing, but I do have some rough crashes sometimes, and I don't really like those. But I think if anything, they just kind of motivate me to keep pushing.
So you use it as motivation then.
Yeah, I get pretty angry.
You've got this contagious smile, and you seem to be an eternal optimist. You said you were adopted, you have spina bifida, you can't move around with the ease of most people. How do you stay so positive through everything?
Um, I'd say one of the ways I stay positive is just kind of definitely just I'd say gratitude is number one. Like I just feel like, there is so much to be grateful for, and in my life, like I've seen so many, just blessings and stuff like that where I'm like, dang, it could be worse, or I'm extremely fortunate. So that's kind of just like the way I see it, and kind of just like how, it's just kind of that mindset. Like the chair can either be something bad or something that stops you from doing things, or you can just kind of see the chair as wheels, stuck to your butt. And so I think like having the wheels stuck to my butt all the time has been a huge blessing and a lot of fun, because it's like I get to take my skateboard into school in a sense, or take my skateboard with me everywhere I go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I think, you mentioned gratitude, and I think that's a really good point. You said you had a lot of surgeries when you were younger.
Yeah.
How do you stay grateful through those moments and keep that positive attitude when you're going through another surgery?
Yeah, I mean, so I've had, to this date, I've had 23 surgeries, and my mom definitely was a huge help through all of those. But I mean, for me, the way I kind of like got through surgeries was I kind of looked for the things to get excited about. Like, I kind of liked going and having all these surgeries done because that meant I would have my mom's full and undivided attention. And as one of six kids, like I didn't always get her attention as much as I wanted it. So I thought the surgeries were cool because I'd get her attention, or the cute nurses, or all the food and people giving me all this attention. So I was like, surgeries are painful and they're scary, but there was a lot of things that I was excited about them.
That's cool. So you just try to find the positive in every situation then.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you mentioned your mom and the nurses and others. How important is it to have people around you to support you and help you through those times?
Oh man, it's super important. Like I don't know if I would have been able to stay as positive if I didn't have such a strong support system, and that really helped me. And having my mom there and my dad there, and just kind of all the support and love from friends and family, it was huge and helped me through those tough times.
You've got this super positive attitude, but I'm sure there's been some really dark times in your life, some things that have been really challenging for you. Can you think of something and tell us about a moment that you've really, really been down and how you got through that?
Yeah, so I always say that I don't really suffer from my wheelchair. I don't suffer from spina bifida. It suffers from me. And in a sense, I don't feel like the wheelchair is something I've ever really struggled with. For me, I feel like my struggle in life is all in my head, is like my overthinking. I overthink a lot, and I kind of second guess myself, and it's feels like I'm always just battling my brain kind of more than anything. And that's kind of been kind of my struggle in life, is to try and just kind of figure out how to stop the overthinking and overanalyzing every little thing. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people actually deal with that same problem. I know I do. I think there's a lot of people that have a really hard time controlling their thoughts, especially the negative thoughts that come into their mind. So how do you think we get over that? I mean, there's a huge problem, I believe, in our society right now with suicide. People having just really struggling with negative thoughts and thinking they can't go on, and the only way out is by taking their life. Since 1999, the suicide rate in America has gone up year after year. And your home state of Nevada actually has the 11th highest suicide rate in the country. So what words of encouragement could you give to people who are really struggling with controlling negative thoughts? And what could you offer as hope to people who may be having thoughts of self-harm?
Man, yeah, and that's shocking. I didn't know we were up there on that list. But, I'd say one of the things would just be to, like I said, just kind of try to focus on, the positive and all the things that are good, because there are lots of times in life, and there's a lot of struggles. And I mean, I'm definitely been struggling, with my brain and stuff. And I'd say, what has helped me the most is to kind of be grateful for what I have, and then also, just believing in God, and just, kind of going to church more and stuff really did help me to kind of deal with some of the tough times that I've been going through, and and finding something I'm passionate about, going to the skate park. And I find that when I start getting depressed and sad, if I go and I do a backflip or do something, I enjoy doing, it makes life a lot more manageable.
Man, I think that's really, really good advice. Thank you for sharing that. Be grateful, believe in God, find something you love to do and do it. Really, really great advice. I appreciate that. Well, Wheelz, before we wrap up, I just want to ask what's going on in your life right now? What's a day in the life for Wheelz Fotheringham?
Well, these days, I just about a week ago just got married. So
Congratulations.
Thanks,
Fantastic.
man. So those stressful days are over. I'm glad that that's done. I mean, being married's great, but getting married is a pain.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now that that's done, we're just kind of focusing on getting ready for this upcoming tour we got. There's a Nitro Circus tour coming up in Australia.
Oh, cool.
And so just kind of been packing my bags and getting my wheelchairs ready.
Well, what's the story behind the wedding? Who's the lucky girl, and how'd that work out?
Her name is Charlie. Oh, I almost said her last name. I'm still getting used to the fact that she has the same last name as me now. But yeah, we met at church, and then we started dating in September, and then we decided to get married, and so we kind of moved along pretty quick, and we got married last week. So
The rest is history. Congratulations.
thank you.
What does the future look like for Wheelz? Are you thinking of any new tricks? I mean, you've done a double backflip, you've done a front flip, you've jumped the mega ramp. What else is there? Are you planning anything new?
Yeah, so I've got all these tricks in my head, and I've tried a few of them, and some of them haven't worked yet. One of the ones that I'm working on is a double front flip. That one's pretty scary, pretty sketchy. I've come down on my head a few times trying that one, but I'm working on it this year, and so I'm gonna try to get that done. And I'd like to kind of work on some other more tech tricks, kind of like maybe a front flip 360 and kind of more technical tricks like that.
Well, I know one thing Nitro Circus is big on is firsts. So I'm sure a double front flip in a wheelchair would be the first. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
We'll be watching for that.
Can't wait to get it.
Well, that's been Aaron Wheelz Fotheringham. You can look at his website at aaronfotheringham.com. Look at some of his videos on YouTube. You can see the rest of his story on his website. He's got some swag that you can purchase if you're interested. Wheelz, you've been an inspiration to me. I know you've been an inspiration to many people. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story with us.
Hey, no problem, man. Thanks for having me on your show, dude.
It's been my pleasure. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I really got a lot out of what Aaron had to say. I love what he said about letting failure and setbacks motivate you to be better and to go out and accomplish the goals that you've set for yourself. I really like what he said about staying positive and staying grateful. I think those things will be able to improve our lives in a really significant way. A huge thanks to Wheelz for taking time to share his story with us, and a big thanks to all of you who listen. I am Joe Belliston. It's a great day to be alive. I hope this conversation has inspired you a little bit to go out and live life more fully. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time, and God bless.